Welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothy, and yes, I'm dressed really wild because this is a powerful new moon that's happening today, November the 14th in Pacific time, like 9 p.m. and after midnight, just after midnight Eastern Standard Time at 23 degrees Scorpio. It is a moon of great spiritual light, great spiritual power. It's going to dispel the darkness. It's going to be the victory of the light over the darkness. It's a very intensely soulful moon. I'm going to tell you all the reasons why. I'm going to do all signs, how this important Scorpio super new moon might impact you over the next 30 days ahead, 28 days ahead. But before I do get into all of that, a quick story. I want to tell you something. I'm doing something brand new with my sister Cindy Lee of Lenormand Tarot fame. Her brand is Blind Faith Readings. Every single Tuesday night at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us on a live Zoom call where we're going to look at something that's in the collective sphere, and we're going to do some divination on it, like, political, world events, whatever's coming up. We'll choose a topic each week, but then the rest of the time together, half an hour to 45 minutes, will be dedicated to your questions being answered live by my sister with her tarot skills and her intuition, and by me with my astrology, depending on who has the greater hit to respond to your question. So it can be a personal question about your life or whatever. How do you join? Check the description box below. You'll become a Patreon of mine at $5. That means that you'll join me at Patreon. For a $5 a month fee, you have access to Astro Tarot Tuesdays, 4 meetings a month, and you can leave anytime you want by just unsubscribing from my Patreon account. So there you go. So let's get going with this new moon. Wow, this is powerful. Why am I dressed like this? Because this is the Hindu festival of Diwali or Deepwali. It is the festival of light. It's where in the Hindu tradition, because this is the moon that goes with that, this is a very celebratory time. And it's important on this day, November the 14th, to dress in your finery. So I'm wearing a dress, guys, that I haven't worn in years. One of these fancy like ballroom gown dresses that I've had for like years but never wear. So I'm gonna prop my boobs back up, and I'm wearing a funky necklace that makes me think of cheerful, happy things. So dress well, light candles, and light, make your place bright, and celebrate this energy of bringing in the light and the triumph of darkness. Why is it that? It's because there was a story in the Ramayana tradition of the Hindu story of Rama defeating this bad demon king, Ravana, who had an army of evil foes. And this is about the story of the defeat of the demon king. And so we celebrate the light that comes from the defeat of darkness on this particular moon on November 14th. Now, from a Western astrological perspective, there's a lot of good things happening as well. So number one, and I will share this picture of the chart with you in a sec. This is a moon that is bringing in this energy that talks about the star is Hadar, is up against the star Hadar, also known as Agena, which is one of the fortunate stars connected with this constellation of the Centaurus in the sky. It's on the knee, one of the knees of the Centaur, on the bottom half of the Centaur constellation. So it's associated with Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter and Venus are the planets that rule that part of the star system of Centaurus. So Jupiter is a benefic, Venus is a benefic. It's interesting, in Hindu tradition, this festival today is celebrated with reverence to Lakshmi, goddess of prosperity and abundance, which is very Venusian. So it can be a very prosperous star, it can be a very abundant star, and therefore the light of the star and this energy is shining today on this particular moon, this new moon beginning. Now, in general, Hadar is a star that is a good omen, promises success in the world, and can, according to Roderick Kidman, who I like the delineations by that particular person, astrologer, support can magically appear when is needed. Support can magically appear when needed. Apply that liberally for the next 28 days in your life, depending on where this is going to happen in your chart, which we'll get to with the sun, moon, and a rising and ascendant, and all that stuff in a bit. Also of note is that this star, Hadar, is in the lunar mansion, the Chinese lunar mansion, that is associated with the word root and with earth and with to be settled and to be in one's place and to find one's home. So I'm hoping this means there's a settling down energy. Now, there's a bit of a sour in the sweet and sour of this moon. That lunar mansion area of the sky in the Chinese tradition. Thank you, Jamie Partridge of Astrology King, for this great information. I'll definitely put you in my tags. it has to do with illness and flu. And the preventative measures are by following right ritual, calamity is avoided. Well, what is right ritual today in a time of a pandemic? May I possibly suggest it's wearing a mask and socially distancing when necessary until we have a vaccine. Could I possibly offer that as a right ritual? Anyway, so because we have that lunar mansion associated with illness as in flu-like illnesses, I do think as well, this new moon will be trying to mitigate against what is actually a time in which we're going to see a huge wave, a huge big swell, the last of the 3 waves because of the Jupiter-Pluto correlation to big swells in infections and deaths with COVID. So am I making that up? No, it exists. There is a correlation between April the 4th, June the 30th, and November 12th, the last of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions, which accelerate, unfortunately, the wave of illness and deaths from this pandemic. And right now, as we go into the flu season and we go into the fall and the air is drier in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going to see increasing cases of COVID. Remember, guys, we haven't really lived through the swell of this during the fall winter season. We've only lived through it as a collective in the Western Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere during the spring, right? And spring season, February, March, April, May, it's wet. And studies show this virus does not like wet, humid, but it thrives in dry air. So there you go. It passes easier between people in dry, cool air. So moving on. I will actually say before we do all signs here that Mars, the god of war and directionality and ambition and everything else, who's also associated in the ancient Babylonian tradition with pandemics, and Mars is a part of this story. Mars is stationing direct, or did station direct, on November 13th, 14th. I can never remember if it's actually the 14th, these stations like today that I'm recording this, but the point is that he's stationing direct while he's co-joined with the asteroid Pan. Yes, pandemic. Yes, pandemic, panic, pandemonium. And it's correlating with the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, the last wave of the pandemic. I hate to say it, but I expect this wave to be startlingly large, this last wave. Not necessarily more deadly, but a bigger number of cases and infections around the world. And the United States is already seeing that. It is daunting, the numbers that are coming up with the United States uncontrolled pandemic, largely escalated by anti-maskers and people who believe the virus is a hoax, unfortunately. So we also have, and no government plan in the United States. I'm Canadian, okay, but no government plan, no government leadership so far to really corral that pandemic in the US, unfortunately. So we're going to see that swelling wave probably through till February. The big turning point maybe in January, but we'll do that as another video. Also find it interesting that at the time of this moon co-present with it, let me share the screen. I meant to do that with you guys. Hang on. Let me show you what this looks like on a chart. All right, so here we go. I'm looking at my big screen. Bottom line is, boom. All right, this is literally 23 degrees of Scorpio. It falls somewhere in your chart. For me, it's in my career house. And this combination of this bringing the light to dispel the darkness and overcome evil kind of vibe. This moon is happening with the sun in a broad trine to Neptune. So spiritual visions are possible, downloads, insights, reverie, daydreams, theta wave states. You can get incredible downloads from your insight and from your dreams right now. I already had one 2 days ago that blew me away. And so we're still in the orbit of that moon, right? So that was a gift from the gods that I had when I was waking up from a dream 2 nights ago. But you can also see that at the very same time, there's a few other things happening, right? One of the things is that there is a sextile from this new moon to Jupiter and to Pluto and to Athena. That's good. And you know, this Pluto-Jupiter combination is the thing that brought the pandemic on, you know, Jupiter-Pluto energy here. And so there's a possibility that a sextile from the moon is like to soothe or heal or help that part of the story, to mitigate the cresting wave of pandemic. As well in your own life, Jupiter-Pluto is a wealth yoga, and this is a prosperity moon because of the Lakshmi and the festival of light connection, abundance, and Hadar promising worldly success and support appearing when you need it. Hadar is a star there, also called Agena. That this can be a bolt of prosperity somewhere for each of us in our lives that is going to be promised in the next 28 days. And abundance and prosperity doesn't always mean money, okay? It can mean like feeling great gratitude for something that you feel prospered by, or abundant, or, you know what I mean? Abundance is not just financial abundance. So keep that in mind. Also, the Vestal Virgin over here is sitting with Lucifer. And I find that a curiosity. Lucifer is the light bringer. We're back to the theme of light. The Vestal Virgin holds up the sacred flame in Virgo. They're both sitting together at 8 degrees, and they are in a trine to Uranus. So sudden bolt of light, some sudden bolt of revelation, some sudden bringing of the light in the Virgo, which rules health. Now, I know that Pfizer came out with this promising vaccine, and maybe that's really what this is about. You know, it's such a great vaccine, it looks like it could work, or that kind of thing. When I look at vaccines, I always want to look at panacea, and here she is right here, the asteroid of panacea, the cure-all, the remedy for what ails us. And she's sitting in Libra, and she's in don't look at the houses, they don't matter in this. This is just set for Montreal time. She's sitting in the sign of Venus, Libra. And Venus is there right now, right? A benefic, bringing goodness to the world in tropical zodiac. And at the time of this moon, Venus is under the light of the star Spica, which brings good nourishment and goodness, and the sheaf of wheat in the Virgin's hand, prosperity, goodness. It's a very lucky star. And Panacea is approaching Venus during this moon. So again, this could be calling us into some really exciting goodness around a bolt of light. Over here, Lucifer, some knowledge, some news, Panacea leaning into the light of Venus, and the Spica here, the star that Venus is in right now during the time of this moon. So that's about all I want to say for now on all of this. I would say that Pan, the god of the pandemic on Mars, as I pointed out to exactly, are looking over at Venus under the light of Spica, such a fortunate star, and Panacea co-present. So I'm going to say this, I'm going to go on a limb and say, this is going to be a huge wave. There's going to be a huge amount of infections. We're going to collectively go, oh my God, but there's going to be a happy ending. And it has to do with the idea of panacea, a remedy, a cure of some kind. Okay. So who knows what it is? Maybe it's a vaccine. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just the gods shining their light of goodness on us all. I don't know. Let's get going, guys. Oh yeah. And Hephaestus is on that Uranus right now, the forge smith of the gods, the creator of Aphrodite's magical corset and girdle corset, but also the guy who forged the thunderbolts for Zeus, right? Boom, boom, boom. He's on Uranus, and that Uranus is in a trine, if I remember correctly. Yes, in a trine to Vesta. Is that correct? Is it a trine? I forgot, I closed it up. But Uranus is in a relationship to Vesta. And Vesta Lucifer, Vesta the light bringer, with like Vesta is a flame already, and Lucifer is a light bringer, and they're in a trine relationship. I think it's a trine to Uranus and Taurus. So with the thunderbolt of, okay, so let me just plant one more weird seed. What if there is a discovery of something through a telescope or something like that, or they dig up something from underneath the earth, Uranus with Hephaestus. What if there's a volcanic eruption or an earthquake and something shows up under the earth that is surprising us all? Like, I don't know what, like a UFO. I always go for something magical. We got to have something magical. These times are getting way too serious. All right, let's go ahead and look at all signs. So I'm going to lightly and playfully say, maybe something will be discovered under the earth, or there'll be a cataclysm around the earth, and hopefully not a big earthquake, but it could be, that brings light to the world. If there's a massive, unparalleled earthquake, Hephaestus on Uranus in the sign of Taurus, the earth herself, beaming energy over to Vesta and Lucifer. Could a calamity bring light to the world? That's my question. I need to liberate my throat. Oh. Okay, that'll do for now. You know what? The last time Mars and Venus in Libra and Aries opposed each other was just before Pearl Harbor, a month before. So my hope is that we don't have some kind of terrorist event or calamity like that, a replay of the 9/11 story, you know, blah, blah. But if we have something like that, some calamity, it will bring light to the collective. There's something that may happen in the next 28 days that brings some great light to the collective, but it may be through some kind of upheaval or something like, again, earthquakes, well, probably earthquakes, Hephaestus, Uranus, and Taurus. Hopefully not an act of violence or terrorism, domestic or otherwise. All right, let's move on to the all signs portion of this thing. Sorry, guys, this is like Venus's corset. It's not holding up everything here. All right, I'm just feeling really playful today. I'm going to light candles today in my house and stuff like that. Starting now, reminder before I go all signs, your ascendant is the most accurate. Just go to astro.com, pull up your chart. Then if you're born at night and it's dark and the sun is below the ascendant descendant line, look for your moon sign. If your sun is above the ascendant descendant date baby, look for your sun sign as well in the 12 signs ahead. Let's get rolling. This could be for you, Aries, because this light of this moon or this dark moon, so it's a new moon, but the energy of this moon is in your 8th house, a very auspicious sign for some kind of prosperity, because the 8th house is a money house over the next 28 days. A light on your finances, an energy of goodness, of prevailing, okay? What kind of money is the 8th house? It's other people's money. It's inheritances. It's spousal money. It's bank loans, it's leveraging your money, etc., etc., etc. It's a money house. And it's also a house of deep occult mystery and wisdom and knowledge. And so maybe you're going to have a bolt of insight there too. Maybe you could uncover the secrets of the universe, the hidden archaeology of reality. Maybe there's something you're going to discover or uncover. It's a house of secrets. There could be a secret revealed or something that was hidden from you that becomes also a very interesting part of your journey in the next 28 days. But again, it's going to shed light. It's a festival of light energy. It's prevailing over the Ravana and his army of demons. So the 8th house is very interesting for you in this regard. Finally, Aries, sun, moon, and ascendant, you just might have some kind of money come to you that was owed to you before, like coming back to you. This energy is, Scorpio, it's ruled by Mars. Mars just went direct. So the Lord of this house is moving direct. So something from the past coming back financially, rewarding. Direct Mars might support that right now as well. Anything else I want to say about that 8th house? Nope, that's about it. It's a house of magic. Might be a good time to do some magic. I think I'll do some magic tonight. I'm an Aries, sun and moon. Taurus, this is happening in your natal 7th house of love relationships that are long-term and committed, business partnerships, and your audience or clients if you have those. This could bring new light and a new refreshing energy to a long-term committed relationship. If you're a single Taurus, sun, moon, or ascendant, this could be some new relationship that's going to bring a lot of light and goodness and prosperity and luck and yum yum to your life. So if you're dating or in the dating scene, this could be very good for a new significant other showing up in your life. If you work with clients online, you could have a new beginning with a new client that brings great goodness to you, or a new beginning in some direction with your work if you work with clients or others or audience, That's about it. Moving forward to the Geminis of the world, and you guys are having this exciting new moon, this prosperous and light-filled moon happen for you in your natal 6th house of work. It's your job, it's your work environment. It's also your health protocols. How do you improve your health? How do you make your body and your health solid? Because the 6th house is the house of sickness in the ancient tradition, but it's also the house of the way we make ourselves unsick. Food, exercise, healers, doctors, nurses, everything. So you could be looking at a new beginning in your health protocols and your health itself over the next 28 days, you Gemini, sun, moon, and ascendants. If you have any ways you undo your own health, because there is a connection to the 12th house here. You may give up bad habits. You may release overindulging in something, okay? I find that this can be very much a house where we can release, addictive patterns and habits that impact our health. So for you Gemini, such light is being shed here. Gemini, sun, moon, and ascendant, a new beginning here. And if you work in a workplace and you have colleagues, this could be a really strong beginning, a new beginning and a refreshing with those colleagues. All right, like, yay, new beginning, something good, a new person at work, a new situation, but something good is happening in the work environment as well. And it's bringing prosperity and light and goodness to you over a good omen, a potent energy with Hadar of worldly success in your workplace. Moving forward, this is for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants. This is going to happen in your natal 5th house of romance, children, sex, sexuality, pleasure play, love affairs, and oh yeah, creative inspiration. The muse lives here. If you've been feeling uninspired, blah, you lost your joie de vivre, this moon can lighten it up. In comes the joy again, the joy of life, the joie de vivre. It's returning to you. And it's coming because of this beautiful light-bearing, good omen moon. So don't even think about your life in terms of what it's been like the last month, okay? Just dump it out, because this new beginning is a powerful refresh here. Now, if you're not looking for romance or involved in romance, and that's not a thing, you're not single looking for love, because it's really good for those of you Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants who are. Also think about what inspires you, because you can start creative projects, you can get pregnant and have a baby or make a baby, do all the fun things that you have to do to make a baby. And if you want to do your own independent business and you're really thinking about it for a while, this is a good launch month. You Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants can really get momentum in independent business enterprise. Finally, last thing, it's a lucky house, and this is a prosperous, lucky moon. Buy a lottery ticket. For the heck of it, buy one. You could win this month. Moving on to the Leos of the world, this is very interestingly happening in your natal 4th house. Is there something you want to do about home? Is there anything that you're thinking about regarding where you live, the city or the house you live in? This is going to be a fresh start, a blessing, and a new beginning in the anchor of the chart. There's a strong chance that you might want to renovate or beautify or prosper up or lighten up your home. If you're looking to buy something, you Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants, this would be a good time to look for a purchase in real estate. I mean, you use your common sense, of course, but it is an auspicious time. If you want to decorate, fix up, or do anything with your home, though, it's just really good for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants. Now, it's the city you live in, or the town, as well, the land you stand on. It's also your ancestral line, particularly relevant to looking at your ancestral line stuff. This can be very important for you right now. I like to think of it as a time to excavate and shed light on the ancestral storylines. If you have this kind of Diwali, festival of light, beautiful, powerful, spiritual, good omen moon happening in the house of the home, then this is the house of the ancestral line as well. So, time to look at that as well. And your relationship to your mom and dad, whether they're alive or not, light can be shed on that storyline for you. All right. Oh, you might have a more intense relationship with your mother this month, but that would be a good thing, okay? If she's alive, it's going to be a new light shed on your mom relationship in the month ahead. Thank you for this beautiful moon. Virgo, this is exciting. I like this for you, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants. This is your natal 3rd house of siblings, of short-term trips and travel, of self-expression, writing, speaking, especially writing. But for you Virgos, if you want to take a trip, everyone's in lockdown, but you Virgos can go somewhere and it will be a good trip. Any journey you make is filled with light and good omens. This is a great time for a trip. Just book the darn thing. If you already booked it and you're on the way going somewhere between November 14th and December, mid-December, yay for you. You timed it out perfectly. Just expect some good omens and goodness and prosperity and joy and yumminess to come from that journey. As well, your 3rd house is your siblings. And if you have siblings you've been out of touch with, this is the time to get back in touch with them. And you'll find that any connection to your siblings brings joy, prosperity, light, and abundance and goodness to you. So definitely connect with any siblings. And if you've been estranged from a sibling, it's time to reconnect. And the light of this gorgeous moon, the spiritual significance of dispelling darkness and bringing light and triumphing over the darkness will be brought to bear in any relationship with a sibling, whether you're estranged or you're already connected. This is the house of oracleship and divination, the house of the goddess. If you want to see a psychic, an astrologer, book me, or anybody like that. Yes, great light will shine on you. Whoever you see in the next month ahead will speak truth to you, and it will shine a great light of prosperity and goodness into your life. All right. Libra, sun, moon, and ascendant. This is a nice, juicy space of prosperity to have the Lakshmi, goddess of luck, good omen, worldly success, moon on Hadar happening in your second house of revenue, earnings, money, prosperity, possessions. Now, the second house is what you possess. You possess a lot of things, right? You possess, like, hopefully, you know, a coffee mug for coffee when you need it. Yes. Or what else do you possess? Because you can be financially successful through things that you own. Now, it's also your revenue, and you can up your earnings as a result of this. Look for good opportunities to make more money in the next 30 days, but also, you know, just feel really good about yourself. And also what you eat. You know, the second house can be what we ingest. It's the throat and the voice. And so it's what comes in and it goes out of the mouth. So if you have to change your food style, you will change it in a way that is very good for you in the month ahead. If you feel like you have something you need to say, like whether it's to a friend or a person or to the world at large, this is a time to express it. Prosperity through self-expression of your voice. Libra, sun, moon, and ascendant. Finally, let's move on. Let's go ahead and talk about you, Scorpio, sun, moon, and ascendants. This is happening in your natal first house of identity, obviously, because you're a Scorpio. If you have any planets as a Scorpio, sun, moon, or ascendant, if your sun or your moon is near that 23 degrees, so let's say like 20 to 26 degrees of Scorpio, this will really be an important moon for you, okay? Really significant. Same if your rising sign is between 20 to 26 degrees of Scorpio. Scorpio. So get excited if you are any of these people. Now, the first house is your identity, and you're having this beautiful, good omen, worldly success, Hadar, and there's also this energy of prevailing over darkness and, you know, defeating the demons on your identity, on your body, on your personality, the whole of you. So first of all, if you've been down about your appearance, this is a great moon because you'll start to feel good about yourself over the next 28 days. And it may be finally you get the haircut. Like I haven't had one in 2.5, 3 years, guys. That's why it's so long. I had to cut my own hair during COVID. So you Scorpio, sun, moon, and ascendants, you might be beautifying, lightening up your appearance. You might be lightening up your body in some way. That can mean literally losing weight. Is that what you need to do to feel good about yourself, and go for it. It's also your whole kind of constitution of your identity. Everything in your wallet, you know. Who am I? So you're having a new light shed on your identity. And with this kind of energy of the defeat of darkness prevailing, there's definitely a sense that if you've been feeling bad about yourself, you've got some inner demons about who you are, you're going to shed light on that. You're going to bring lightness to your identity. You're going to be shedding some, you know, beautiful sort of reinvention of self with great prosperity and identity enhancement, you know, 101. All right, that's it. Well, I'm going to say, you know, Scorpio, rising sun and moons, but especially the rising signs. You guys are ruled by Mars. You love surgery. You're not afraid to go under the knife if you need to. So especially with the first house Scorpio energy, anyone who's really a Scorpio ascendant, you might be propelled to want to do a little cosmetic adjustments during the next 28 days. It would be a good idea because the light of that moon, that new moon energy under the starlight of Hadar would support that being successful for you. Because this, you know, Venus and Jupiter are both the planetary energies supporting this star, and Venus rules beauty. So any cosmetic adjustments will be very successful. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and ascendant. This is happening in the 12th house of past lives, dreams at night, hidden enemies. So if you have any hidden enemies, they will be exposed in the light of this Hadar starlight that supports this moon. So anyone trying to undo you, well, they're going to get caught. But also it's the house of your past lives. So you might be very much bringing forth some light from another lifetime. You might be shedding light on your multiplicities of existences. Your dreams at night could be very, very, very profound. Like pay attention, because this is a house of your dreams at night. In the next 28 days, you could come up with some incredible revelatory insights and ideas for prosperity through your dreams at night. Or if you're a meditator or you do shamanic journey work, the same thing. Now, also Sagittarius, sun, moon, and ascendants. If you want to go to a foreign land in the next 28 days or so, do it. There's support for that. Plan a trip to a foreign land, because the 12th house can be foreign land orientations. Kind of too, spiritual questing is very important. Finding a teacher or a guru, or going deeper into some spiritual knowing. If you have a trip planned at all, let's say mid-November to, mid-December, it should be auspicious for you. It should bring you goodness. But that'd be foreign trips, foreign lands, not domestic. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and ascendants. The 12th house is income from foreign lands. Think of spice trade, Right now, all of us who work on the internet professionally are receiving foreign land income because we're not local anymore. So I would say that you can look at this as a very prosperous time over the next 28 days for any of your online businesses or business. All right, Capricorn, sun, moon, and ascendant. Yay, this is so exciting. This is happening in your 11th house of good spirit. It's already a place of hopes, dreams, and wishes, and goodness, and receiving pennies from heaven, and great gains financially from your career and your reputation, and friends that want to benefit you as allies and benefactors. So it's such a good place. And this light is shining there for you, Capricorn, sun, moon, and ascendants. So I would say to you, take this as an opportunity to let others help you. Great light can come through someone saying, hey, I love what you're doing. Do you want to be in my show? Or, hey, I love what you're doing. Can I support you? These are your social networks, your friends that are not your local buds that you just go, hang out with to, in bed and watch Netflix and popcorn. And this is way much more like the larger social networks that you belong to. And so belonging to my church, belonging to my astrology society, belonging. So you'll benefit through the mechanism of belonging. If you're into like social movements, that could be very 11th house, and you might get a lot of momentum, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising, about being a part of or initiating some kind of movement. Social movement time. It's a house of fame as well. It can be about fame sometimes. And so your light could shine really much more brightly, a fresh start here over the next 28 days from this auspicious festival of light, Diwali, Hadar, on the moon in your 11th house of good spirit. Don't abandon your hopes, dreams, and wishes, but dig into them, fortify them, bring them to greater clarity during the next 28 days, because that's where the action is. That's where you get supported. All right. Aquarius rising, which is me, sun, moon, and ascendant, 10th house. Wow. Career time, guys. So your reputation, your status, your career in the world, your action in your world, the sense of God's plan for you, your bright livelihood, all of this stuff, highly active for you in the next 28 days. Now that makes sense for me because I want to create a new course I'm going to launch in probably January, and I had a dream about it, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And so that's what I'll probably be doing, is creating that material while this light over the next 28 days shines in my career house. For some of us Aquarius, sun, moon, and ascendants, this could be dealing with a father figure or authority figure, but bringing great light into our life because of it, because the 10th house can be that father figure energy, authority figures in our life. It could also be an opportunity for something like a raise. If you're employed and you work in a company, or you're working with others, a raise, a promotion, acknowledgement in your career life over the next 28 days. What else can I say? Anything else? No, I think that's about it. It's just a good career momentum for 28 days as we lean into the holiday season, the Christmas season. It doesn't really matter. Things are taken off for the Aquarian people here. You Aquarians like me, especially the ascendants, are getting ready for December 21st, conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in our sign. So this is like almost like a precursor blessing of light in the career zone for the Aquarius ascendants and sun, moon as well. Okay, finally, the Pisces of the world, Piscean energy. You guys are getting this in your 9th house of God, 9th house of higher education, foreign lands, the house of the soul. If you want to learn anything, you want to take a course that requires certification, and you have to dive into it a little bit deeper than, let's say, a weekend workshop, then this is a good thing for you. Pay attention to the opportunity in the next 28 days to take a course of some kind, because if you find something, it'll serve you. It'll be really a good direction for you to go in terms of learning. If you're looking for a spiritual guide or you want a spiritual teacher or a mentor, this can show up in the next 28 days because it's a house of teachers and gurus and guides and mentors that's being activated with this light. I don't think most of us are traveling to foreign lands, but there could be an opportunity to take a journey to a foreign land from where you currently live that shows up in the 28 days from this light, the light of this beautiful, opportune, prosperous moon. Something else, the ninth house can be very much about the direct experience of God, like an enlightenment energy. It's also a Dharma house. So you're being, first of all, your Dharma is your true path. And so you might be really connecting to your true path in more depth with more clarity over the next 28 days, you Pisceans. But if you ever have a hunkering and a hankering for enlightenment or awakening or spiritual truth, this house of God could deliver it with all this Diwali light and Hadar and all this, beautiful energy of dispelling the demons and darkness in the world. That could end up being a spiritual awakening for you. So pay attention to that possibility. Like if you meditate, keep meditating this next 28 days. If you have a spiritual teacher, like listen to what they tell you. If you are on a path of spiritual attainment, you could attain something in the next 28 days. So that's exciting if that's something that you're up to. I mean, we all are on that journey together to spiritually enlighten, but it could be a very auspicious 28 days for you ahead from this moon. All right, that's it. Okay, so Astro Tarot Tuesdays are coming up this Tuesday, November 17th, the first episode. Come on in for $5. $5 gives you access to every Tuesday show. You can ask questions. We'll look at what's going on in the sky. We'll be looking at the big picture for the collective, particularly around world events that we want to tackle. I think this Tuesday, my sister Cindy and I might tackle the Senate race in Georgia, depending on what else comes up in the news cycle before then. And I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a Canadian. So I'm just looking at it from the astrological standpoint of the runoff races in January, which I will do some astrology on. But nonetheless, no matter what your temperament is, your inclination, come aboard because we'll answer your personal questions. You have a question about your marriage, a question about your job. We'll throw some cards. We'll look at a horary. Depending on how big these groups get, we'll have to take questions in advance and select from a hat. But while we're still small, we're just starting out. There could be like you, me, Cindy, and like 2 people on the first Tuesdays, the 17th. So sign on up in my Patreon link below for $5 a month at that tier level. And you are in for these shows, Astro Tarot Tuesdays with Cindy, Lee, and Lori. And I'll also have other astrologers, other tarot readers come to the show as well. Cindy's going to be my main co-host, but I'll be highlighting once a month out of the 4 shows a month. At least once a month, I'll highlight another tarot reader or expert authority using divination tools like that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. This is Diwali. I'm getting ready to light all my candles. I'm going to go out and buy some incense to go with it. And I'm going to have my own celebration of light tonight. Big hugs to all of you guys. And thanks for being on my channel. Like, subscribe, share, comment.